Thank you, Luke. Afternoon, Stephen.
Nick.
To start with then, talk us through the news on your scrum halves, Kieran Hardy and Thomas Williams, please.
Yeah, obviously for Kieran, it's unfortunate, after having a wonderful performance against England, he's picked up a hamstring injury and he's unavailable for the rest of the tournament. Where that leaves us with scrum halves is simple. We got 3 left in the squad who are good to go.
Thomas Williams back and fighting fit then.
Yeah, he's ticking boxes as well, which is great. And taking part in training, so that's great for us. Oh, sorry.
How much of a blow is it for Kieran personally, having really made a breakthrough this season?
Oh, it's unfortunate for Kieran. He's worked, particularly hard on his game to improve aspects, and he's a very fit guy. He works hard on his fitness, huge amount of pride there. And we thought his performance was excellent on the weekend, and it's unfortunate for him that he's not in a position to be able to back that up.
Dan Biggar also looked to be limping when he went off last weekend. What's the news on him?
Yeah, obviously Biggs, he's got an injury that he's nursing, but we're very optimistic for next week.
How much training is he able to do at the moment, if any? I think you've muted yourself, Stephen.
Apologies, guys. Sorry.
Thank you. How much training is Dan able to do, if any, at the moment then?
Yeah, well, obviously we'll find out on Monday, but the reports are, that we're pretty optimistic that he's going to be available to us. That's, it's good from our aspect.
And what's the nature of the injury exactly?
I'm not sure. You'll have to ask the medical team. Very not
okay.
Comment on that, Nick.
Obviously a fraught time always with players going back to their English clubs at the weekends as well.
Yeah, I know. And, from selfish perspective, you always want access to your players, especially in the fallow weeks. You want, all your players here to, sharpen the skills and, put into place new patterns or new options. But it's just the nature of the beast, isn't it, that we lose guys obviously back to their clubs across the border.
And looking at the fallout from last weekend, there's been just a little bit of discussion about refereeing. Obviously, you've had a bit of the rub of the green so far. How far are you sort of steeling yourself for the possibility that the rub of the refereeing green might go against you in the next game?
It's just, it's the nature of all international games. Some calls go with you, so some go against you. Just that's how it is. But I can assure you, just from a coach's perspective, from attack coach's perspective, I've got enough to focus on and make sure that we improve on. And there's aspects of our game from attack that, we got to make sure we make some big strides on, because, the areas which can add to our game.
Welsh public have probably already put a tick in the box against the Italy game. How do you in the camp guard against any complacency?
Well, it's very simple, because one, we respect Italy, we respect the players they have, the coaching group they have, the very physical outfit, and also from my own individual perspective, we've got a lot to improve on from our attacking game. We've got to make sure we're more efficient, we move the ball in a better manner. So I've got lots of things that I need to improve on. So it's very simple. We've got to get our own house in order.
10 tries in the bag in 3 games. That must suggest that things are moving in the right direction, though, even for a perfectionist such as yourself.
Oh, obviously we're happy to be scoring tries, but there's aspects of our game where we should be asking more questions. And we've got to make sure that we keep working hard, to get ourselves set quickly, but also to make sure our scanning's better. We've got to be making sure we choose the correct side to attack on more occasions, and there's lots of aspects that we've got to improve on, Nick.
And France obviously have had trouble with the COVID situation. How much does this slightly detract from the tournament, the fact that it won't be a a Grand Slam decider against France, whatever happens on the final weekend, what was meant to be the final weekend?
Yeah, well, I can only speak from my perspective, and we got a big game against Italy coming up. First of all, against a physical Italian side, it's a big hurdle for us, and all our energy goes into that first. If I'm honest, Nick, we don't look further than the game, our next game, and that's Italy.
Thank you, Stephen. Good luck.
Pleasure, Diolch, Nick.
Hi, Stephen. Just one question. Nick referred to everything sort of going on this week. How much was that good fortune, and how much was it good analysis, not giving England line-outs, looking at the speed they regroup, taking advantage of things you spotted and going through the tapes?
Well, I think, as I said, certain aspects of our attacking game I was happy with, but we have got improvements we've got to make. It's as simple as that. So you look at the game, just look at the last 20 minutes. It was 24-all, and for us to score 16 points in that last 20 minutes, that was good game management from the boys. So we were ball tough. Our efficiency at the contact area was good, which allowed us to sort of control that last period of the game, which was very, very important.
And the rest of the match, was that stuff that you'd planned, the early moments, first half?
Well, there's certain things. You always look at your shape, how you implementing that. Obviously, I give the English defence credit. Hugely physical, and their ability to repeat sets was good. But we did have some joy on the edges, some good ball movement from our boys there. But did we capitalise on after having some good yards down the edge? No, we got to be better. So work in progress, simple as.
Okay, thanks very much.
Hey Stephen, Beth ITV, you all right?
Hiya, Beth.
Just a quick reflection on it last weekend. Obviously an empty stadium, but you could cut the tension with a knife at times. How was it for you?
Yeah, it's tough 80 minutes. But no, you're very proud, aren't you, of the guys' efforts. They were superb. In a very, very physical match. I know you said there's no crowd there, but you can hear pretty much every collision and every carry. And for the boys just to get up and repeat sets and keep on trying to win the collisions, and the contact area was ferocious, and our boys applied themselves very, very well.
Listen, where does that sit in terms of wins against England? There's been a few crackers which we could name, but it was a funny one, given all the circumstances, everything you've been through as a team over the last year as well.
Obviously, we're delighted with the victory to obviously win the game, and for there to be a Triple Crown mistake, that was huge for us as a group. But we don't get too carried away, because ultimately, it's another test match around the corner, and we've got lots of things to work on. So it's as simple as, really, from our perspective.
Well, I think the Welsh fans are definitely still cheering that. Listen, how pleased are you that fate is in the hands of Wales at the moment with all the wins that you've had? Because, at the moment, you win two, you win the whole thing, and that must be really pleasing.
Yeah, obviously, it's great that, we won our first three games, but pretty much I'd be repeating myself. Obviously, we've got a big challenge in Rome, and, we have to overcome that first, and then hopefully we can go to Paris then, being alive on the last round, which is what we want. So, it is great to be where we are, but we understand, there's a lot of work to be done.
Just last question from me. Obviously, in the autumn internationals, you blooded a lot of young players. How pleased were you particularly with them? Because that was a lot of pressure on some of those shoulders, wasn't it?
Yeah, they've been excellent. We exposed, obviously, Kieran Hardy in the autumn, Callum Sheedy, Johnny Williams, Louis Zammit, both of them. So, we exposed a lot of guys there, and the way they've coped, you look at Callum, how he came onto the park, composure was excellent. Kieran obviously started the game, how he managed the game. And you always look how people cope in their sort of pressure situation. And like when Kieran had one kick charge down from Itoje, didn't fluster him, stuck to his process. And that's what you want, isn't it? The guys having belief in their own ability and belief in the system.
Just quickly on that, do you think that having no crowd maybe have helped, with those kicks at the end for Callum, because he had a bit of a tricky time, didn't he, in Scotland with those penalties? Do you think that maybe took the pressure off a little bit?
No, I don't think so. The pressure's internal, isn't it? You drive yourself, and whether there's a crowd there or not, I don't think that makes a difference, if I'm honest.
Great, thank you so much. Cheers.
Yeah.
Hi, Steve. It's Will here. How's it going?
Hi, Will. Okay.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Just looking at the coaching staff and quite a significant amount of the players, you've got a hell of a lot of experience of kind of managing the last 2 weeks when you've gone through the first 3 unbeaten. How much do you lean on the voices who've been there and done it before in the weeks coming?
Well, obviously we've got excellent leaders from a playing perspective. Alan Wynne, Ken, Tips, and plenty others who've experienced success, and they fully understand the process that you can't take your eye off the ball. You've got to keep on working hard. It is next game mentality, and it's as simple as you can't look any further ahead than that, otherwise you'll come unstuck. So yes, we've got some awesome leaders in this group.
From your experiences of 05 and 08, what were your particular memories of those, and how you kind of navigated the final 2 ones?
Yeah, obviously, we went up to Scotland, was the penultimate game in 05. But, it's about winning, it's about momentum, it's about making sure you get better, you improve your performance. You're so focused on making sure you get, as a player, you're getting your own individual role right, that you're not taking your eye off the ball. Otherwise, you won't nail your performance. It's simple as that.
Just on a slightly different note, there's plenty going on about the Lions tour. Obviously, you went on a couple of those yourself and enjoyed those trips, I'm sure. What do you make of the idea that it could well be in the UK and Ireland? What sort of tour would that be from your perspective if you were a player?
All I'd say is Lions tours are special, and I can only look back on my experiences, and in fact you're going into a team environment with guys from different cultures, backgrounds, different rugby philosophies, but you're unified for one cause. It's special, and let's hope the tour goes ahead, because as a player, something very, very special.
It's not quite sure what's going to happen yet, but if it were to be postponed or cancelled or something like that, that would be a huge blow, wouldn't it? Just for the significance of what the Lions is for rugby. Oh,
listen, you ask any player, the Lions are special. It is the pinnacle, and that's where you want as a player, isn't it? And let's hope, isn't it? Let's hope the tour goes ahead.
Okay, cheers, Steve.
Thanks.
Hi, Steve. Matt here. Just a quick one on the scrum halves. With the forwards and the line-out, they've spoken about consistency and selection being a key to them kind of getting the line-out sorted in recent weeks. And I know obviously Kieran suffered this injury, but it looks like you're going to change your scrum half. I think it's the 11th time in 14 games. Is it difficult for players, do you think, when they're sort of coming in and out of the starting side and perhaps not getting that run of games?
Yeah, it's a really good start, isn't it? What was it, 11 scrum halves in 14 games? Yeah.
11, 14, yeah.
I think it'd be interesting to look how many of those have been because of injury as well. Obviously, the autumn series was different in the sense we wanted to have a look at players across the board, so that would be different. But you obviously always want consistency in selection, but sometimes your hands are tied with injuries.
Yeah, absolutely. And just finally from me quickly, where do you think the balance lies at the moment? Some of the tries you've scored look like they're quite opportunistic tries, and you look at the individual brilliance of someone like Louis Rees-Zammit. I get the impression from what you've said, you're perhaps not breaking down teams systematically quite the way you would like yet.
Well, it's interesting how you is systematic, going through the phases, or do you mean becoming more potent at the start? Do you mean it's interesting how you look at it, isn't it? So you want to make sure you got both strings to your bow, really, in a sense. You can work teams through multi-phase, but also if you can do it early in the set, you do it early in the set, and that's always going to be the challenge. Always going to be the challenge.
All right, cheers, Steve.
Cheers. Thank you.
Hi, Steve. Alex here. Just one question. You were a key man in 2005, and at that time, sort of Wales had a long period of troubles and then sort of sent the nation wild with a Grand Slam. This time, I think people wouldn't have considered Wales Grand Slam contenders. Do you see similarities between those 2 years?
Well, I think the difference was then in 2005, it's been 28 years, I think. So, so obviously it's slightly different times. But no, I think, you know, if you look at a lot of those games from last year's Six Nations, a lot of them were close, you know, score lines. Obviously, the France one in the stadium, England, I've been Twickenham was a 3-point ball game. So, you know, and there was a new management group as well, wasn't there? So it was a lot of learning that got done across the board, but you know, you look at the caliber of players we've got and the experiences they've got and their mentality, winning mentality, you know, is different to what there was in 2005, Alex.
Thank you.